All right, I want to give a bit of an update on this whole benching with the MacBook Air, and this is all in good fun, by the way. But I made some vids as soon as a great YouTuber, Wade Abbey, stated he was going to get a MacBook, and congratulations on that. I'm sorry, a MacBook Air. Congratulations on that, Wade Abbey. It is a beautiful notebook. But I knew that nobody could resist benching it and trying to show up the score. So I had done some change up on my MacBook to get it equal, basically a fresh install and all the default apps, so I could do another more benches on it, like Geekbench, another boot up time, and I went ahead and did the whole application start since Emic had asked for that. Now, so I went ahead and did all that, and I'll go ahead and publish these vids in order. So the other thing is that Emic was touting, oh, everybody's wrong, this and that and the other thing. Look, basically, yeah, while I did these benches just to prove a point, the Geekbench for the MacBook Air is what it is supposed to be. It's not really going to get much off the solid state. The score that Wade Abbey got isn't in the range of a Core 2 1.8 gigahertz. I mean, quite frankly, unless you have some sort of difference where we're comparing RISC chips with CISC chips, like we were going to compare the G4s and G5s with Intel, then you could start making those comparisons. But when everything's Intel, you're pretty much going to have the staircase measurement, especially with RAM and the CPU, unless Intel does some sort of different chip altogether, architecture from the ground up. So that score is in line. Now, what I did find was funny is when I showed all the other scores and the benches, when the MacBook was claimed that it was going to be the fastest out there, that it to the contrary was, and then the argument devolved to, well, it's the fastest boot up, or it can launch applications the fastest. Well, I have, like I said, I did my own benches, and you can see for yourself off of my my older MacBook. The other thing I wanted to say about the Geekbench scores was that there was a comment that, oh, the MacBook Air is only 500 points away from my own MacBook Pro. On the same token, I could say that the Core Duo Mac Mini that I have, which the video is up in one of the vids that I've done, is a 1.66 gigahertz with 512K of RAM. And I think it benched 21, 25 or something like that. Either way, it was 405 points less than the 1.8 Core 2 gigahertz MacBook Air. You can have your argument any way you want it. I mean, to me, that was really a moot statement. But anyway, wanted to throw that out there. I think these Core Duos were pretty impressive for their time. As far as the other thing that I wanted to clarify, and this was more on Emic saying everybody was saying that there was not going to be 8 cores. That argument, I remember, was about an 8-core Xeon chip. There's a big difference between 8 cores on one chip and 2 chips with 4 cores each. The argument that people were making, and I remember myself included, is that there was not a Xeon chip with 8 cores on it, as in singular, one chip with 8 cores on it. And that's what they were talking about. No one was disputing that Apple could put 2 quads in a Mac Pro or anything like that. So I wanted to clear that up because that was part of the discussion. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed these vids. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, you're probably wondering, wow, that was fast. I think it was around 10 seconds. And I don't know, I think I had 19 applications in there. I checked the Apple Insider test. They did 17 applications. I don't know specifically which ones. I just grabbed the defaults and ran the script. That was there to prove a point. That was not an initial load. That was basically running off of the normal CPU and the caching off the memory. And that really is what I wanted to do. And I wanted to show that video first before I show how long it takes to do an instant simultaneous application launch just after a boot up. And basically the reason is that I remember videos where there were contests to see how long the Macs were up and running, where they didn't crash. And that actually is one of the things I had thought of when people were talking about normal use of a computer. Well, if you don't turn it off and on, or even just launching single apps, that whole application test proves really nothing. Most of the time you're going to be running off of your CPU and RAM, especially when it's been cached in RAM. And that's why I showed that. For every practical use, that's the speed you're going to get. So I'll go ahead and show how long it takes to do a fresh application initial launch. And actually it's not all that bad. It came out I think what, 10 seconds slower than the MacBook Air SSD launch. And part of the point that I was making on my other video when I had said, well, it's just that bad, I was referring to the actual hard drive. The HDD version of the MacBook Air is just that slow in comparison. I mean, if you had faster RPM hard drives, and there's a lot of variables involved, but basically the entire I/O setup that you've got there is really that slow in comparison to the solid state, and not in comparison to the MacBook's architecture. Anyway, so I'll show that part now. 1, 2, 3. Here you go. Here's my MacBook. Specs. Okay, we're going to run the benchmarks. Okay, here we are. Core Duo. Not even a 64-bit chip. Alright, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the vids. Again, this was all in good fun. I have great respect for Emeek. And Wade Abbey. Again, congratulations on the MacBook Air. Thanks for watching.